Well, hi everyone. Hello. Thanks for coming. Woo! I woke up this morning to the most beautiful snow on the ground, but it's a bit chilly, so I just you know, turning up the heat a little bit. I brushed my hair. This is my contribution. I brushed my hair, I put on some lipstick. So there you go. Let's give gratitude to all of our members for joining us today and all the subscribers. Hi, Tina Perucci. Thanks for being a member. Hi, Catherine H. Thank you for subscribing. Hi, hey, Naomi. Sharon Sipe, as well, is moderating, as is Pure Walker. I appreciate you. Thank you, Equus3333, for being a member and supporting the channel. Hi, Kat Cauldron. Cindy Dickinson, hello. Paul Gilbert Boswell, hi to you. Gail St. John is here. Vicky is in the house. Sharon Sipe, thank you for helping today. Appreciate the help. Desiree Rabato, thank you for being here. So, hi Geocosmic, thanks for helping out today. Well, what strange times we live in. What strange times we live in. I don't know how many of you are invested in the stock market right now, but it's a madhouse. I do my meditation. I try not to freak out when when the world is freaking out, and I think, okay, what do I have control over, and what do I not have control over? Uh, and then I just focus on that, keeping my home clean, making sure my retirement is taken care of, investing in environmentally friendly companies, right? It goes up, it goes down. If you invest in a company that is solid and is moving towards an eco-friendly, if it has an eco-friendly reputation, it'll be fine. And we go forward, right? Chop wood, carry water. We are about our business. Hello, Buddha Lion. Thank you for being a subscriber. So it's Hot Topics Day. Seems like everyone is talking about the Ukraine. No matter where you go, everyone's freaking out about the Ukraine. Everyone's freaking out about the fact that the Manhattan District Attorney? It looks like two people quit from the Manhattan District Attorney. They resigned. It's interesting. Also, people think Putin has gone absolutely insane. Certainly, I can see how people would feel that way, given the what's going on with the invasion of Ukraine. But, he always said the worst thing that ever happened was the fall of the Soviet Union. But it leads you to wonder what else is unstable. When we think of all the territory that Stalin took, right? We think about the invasion of Czech in the 1950s, right? And 60s, Hungary, Czech, Slovakia, Ukraine, Romania, all the Baltic nations, everywhere, all those areas around the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea. It's pretty scary, right? Yeah, we can check the and New York City district attorneys. I'm not too worried because I know who is sitting in the Justice Department. If something is wacky with AG Bragg, I would imagine the Justice Department would investigate, and you can't just go off and do whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do. So you don't want, you could trigger an internal investigation, I would think. So, um, you know, then there's of course things happening, uh, in hot topics. What's his name? And I got some emails about various different celebrities in the news. We can do a little bit of that if people would want to get off all the heavy topics. So is everybody prepping? Did everybody do a little prepping in the event of emergency? Do if you've got somebody who's saying, I don't have a way of cooking, if the weather knocks out my power in Texas, I said, well, or wherever I am, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, do you barbecue? Oh yeah, all the time. Well, so just barbecue. Just use the barbecue. She was like, oh yeah, we do that all the time. I was like, so you've got if you got some way of cooking, even if it's outside the house, like using the barbecue, then I guess that's good enough. Yeah, I mean, we should have done this anyway. FEMA says that we should have a FEMA kit, a first aid, duct tape. I think you can use your shower curtain if we ever got hit with chemical stuff. They say, you want to seal the windows with plastic. If you don't have plastic, you can grab your shower curtains. And some duct tape. Bunsen burners can be helpful. If you don't want to use flames, then you can get a generator. They sell, I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a J, but they're like $250. And they have also generators that are solar, which I think is kind of cool. And the Jackery, thank you, Boodle Lion. And duct tape and canned goods and beans and rice and tuna if you eat tuna. But that's stuff that I'm good. I'm totally taken care of. I checked my stuff, and I've got, I don't have a ton of water. I've got a gallon of water. But, if an emergency happens, you can fill up your bathtub. You can fill up as much stuff as possible uh, while you've got water, right? If you know that there's going to be a problem. And you can boil it before you drink it. Duct tape, yes. Duct tape the windows. It's interesting, a lot of people think Putin's so crazy, and they're like, he's got Chernobyl. I'm like, don't worry about Chernobyl. Chernobyl's a walking disaster. I mean, they've got working weapons that are far more dangerous than whatever is going on in Chernobyl. Beans are out of sight. That's right. I've got hot water tank and also, believe it or not, your toilet. Not from that, but you have clean water in the thing in the toilet. But what they say is to just start filling up your bathtub as high as you can. And you can use that to flush your toilet and do whatever you have to do. They say FEMA says you should have 3 gallons per person in your home. Why would they be releasing nuclear fallout? That doesn't make sense. Oh, already, or because of, I don't understand. Well, no, I don't think so, Geocosmic Valentine. We're at, I think, there's DEFCON 1 is like we're at war. DEFCON 5 is we're at peace. We're at DEFCON 4, they said. So we're alerted. It's another country. He doesn't have a history but it's a Cold War, and he can mess with things, right? He can shut down Bank of America. They like going after our big banks. So if you can't, if they shut down your credit card, that's why they say to have like $500 or whatever in case. But they've got so many emergency ways now of putting the bank back up that I doubt that would be a major issue. If you really want to be freaked out about something, the biggest threat is probably more like natural disasters, I would think, with super volcanoes and things like that. Oh, really, Mel? They bombed Chernobyl. Wow. Well, whatever you guys want me to look at today, whatever questions you have, if I get the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away, I can do that. I'm not pulling money out. I live on planet Earth. I just don't think that it's going to get to that point. This country has been in far worse condition than this. I mean, uh, he did the same thing before when he took Crimea, and we will get through this. Oh, really? Governor Abbott is going after LGBTQ? It doesn't surprise me. I was listening to Death of the American Dream, the documentary, and I was watching, oh God, who is that famous economic philosopher? But he was basically saying that capitalism usually leads to fascism. That the reason why capitalism leads to fascism is because when you've got money, you've got power. And the more money you have, the more power you have. So why would you want other people to have as much money and power as you? No, you want to centralize the power and have the money and centralize the power so that you stay in charge, so and drive down the wages so that you have more money for yourself, which means that inevitably it leads to fascism, which is why entrepreneurs and wealthy people tend to be attracted to fascism. Like Henry Ford admired Hitler. He was a fan of Hitler. So, Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky. So it's kind of like what's going on right now with the fact that a large percentage of the business class, the aristocrats that prop up Republican values, don't want to pay their taxes, believe in welfare only for the aristocrats. The wealthy should be given billions of dollars. The fact that 80% of the bailout went to the aristocrats while 20% went to the poorest of the poor. We were lucky if we got $1,000. People couldn't pay their rent. They lost their homes. But the bailout, it was baked in. You have to give the money to the aristocrats because the aristocrats put you in office. So nothing changes. All right, so we'll go ahead. Well, that was stupid of them to bomb the nuclear site. Let's go ahead. We'll do the empath prayer, and then we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. Sound good? Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. All right, so what is the first question we have? Let's see here. Where is Putin keeping his family? Is he not worried about being assassinated? Good question. They seized Chernobyl. Yes, they did. I wouldn't freak out. I would, the good news is you're doing everything you can to take care of yourselves, right? I mean, that was kind of what Spirit kept saying to us. Be about your business. There will be wars and rumors of wars. There's going to be chaos. And if you put yourself in that stuff too much, you're going to calm down, do an account and a reckoning, right? Do an account and a reckoning of your situation. Do you have food? Do you have water? Are you going to be okay if Do you have any way of getting a radio if things go down? If you run out of electricity, will you be able to get an emergency? You know, but that stuff you would have had to have done anyway. Look at how horrible the weather's been. So stay calm, be about your business, go to work, live your life, pray, vote for progressive policies, right? And trust that good people, and there are good people that are doing everything in their power to keep us all safe. Yeah, I actually feel pretty good. I feel like there's more of us. I mean, Putin is one person, his own, you interview people on the streets of Moscow. He's not looking too good right now. Most people are freaking out. They've got family, relatives in the Ukraine. This is not going over well. They can't get their money out of the bank. Look, he was more this is the most angry I'd ever seen him when I did the remotes. And the more we tried to remember when I was talking in the remotes that this was the most angry I'd ever seen him. And the more we tried to talk to him, the more angry he became because he saw us as being hypocritical. So okay, I don't even know where to start first. I think we just need to look at, let's look at the Ukraine is a huge question. So I think we have to look at how will NATO respond to the invasion of Ukraine. That's going to help me get a little centered, and then we can go beyond that. Because there's a lot going on. And then after that, whatever questions people have. But let's try and orient ourselves a little bit here. Let's try and orient ourselves. How is the West going to handle this? Okay, so the first thing is establishing partnerships. This is the first thing that everybody is doing. So you have the United Nations openly condemning Putin. You have United Nations peacekeeping troops. They're talking a lot. When you go into this energy, there's a lot about reiterating our commitment to one another. So it's almost like the world against Putin. So you have the partnerships, and then you have the military, the King of Swords. So you have the partnership of the military. So the first thing that we need to understand is that the world is unified together in its resources to deal with this problem. All of Europe is united. NATO is united. The UN is united, and there's this feeling that everyone is coming together to use their resources, because 2 of Wands is looking at the globe. It's importing and exporting, the entrepreneur, but it's also about partnerships. The number 2 is associated with unity, partnership. And then King of Swords has an aspect of the military. So this is why I felt like, well, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, it's almost like the entire world comes together and pushes Russia back. That's how it feels. So exactly, Tina, it's step 1. We are united, and we are letting Putin know we, the world, the globe, the global partnership, 2 of Wands, also the importing and exporting, and then the soldier, the King of Swords. Where we're at right now, Page of Pentacles. So we also have the World Bank. So we have the ability to control the finances. We have the ability of the world to come in. Putin, so Biden is now talking about the fact that he's going to release oil. We have oil stores, a lot of oil stores. They're probably going to make it so you don't have to pay your student loan debts until 2023. That, it was going to be until May, but obviously that's not going to work. So you have Page of Pentacles coming in, which is coin. So we have, like I said, United Nations and the World Bank and the military, we are together, we are united. What is crossing us? Our legacy, the 10 of Pentacles. So dang, it's very strong. The opposition is strong and we are united. This is a feeling of cooperation too. This is a feeling that if it's an emergency, you've got planes, we've got medical equipment, you've got this. It's a feeling of partnership. The rocky waters, Two of Pentacles, the trickster who... This was the stupidest thing that Putin could have done, because for a guy who claims he's being reasonable, this was so insane that the entire world is coming to the conclusion that the world is not going to be safe so long as this nut job is, I'm sorry, I don't like to speak ill of anybody, but this is how people are thinking, that he is so mentally unstable that they need to come in and take control of the situation. And diplomacy has failed. Knight of Cups comes on a white horse. What we're coming out of, the Lovers. So the dynamic of diplomacy is not working. So it goes back to the economic incentive. The only thing was that Putin had to have an economic incentive. There was an economic incentive. I definitely don't see Europe walking away from this. There's the treasure trove, where we're at. The West has a tremendous amount of resources. We are so much wealthier than Russia. We've really acquired massive amounts of resources. So he could be hit from many sides. And now we're opening up communication and even potential oil businesses with Iran, which in a way would be a good thing. But we present as the Empress, as the wealthy partnership. This is also starting to look like the Middle East could get involved. This guy could be hit from everybody. He could be hit by Saudi Arabia. He could be hit by, from many different angles. Remember that he was trying to, when you go into the remote, he was trying to consolidate his powers around the Black Sea, that he'd been planning for years to take the Black Sea. And somebody had asked, well, what about the Caspian? The Caspian's important too, but the difference is the Black Sea joins the East with the West. It goes into the Baltic nations, and that trade takes you into Europe. So that was why it was of more importance to him. But I think he could be hit by all kinds of people. He could even be, it's not just the United States, it's all of our allies, including the Saudis. They don't want to see this. Look, the final outcome is 10 of Cups. This is so strong that, and his behavior is, look, we're going to win. Our outcome is victory after tears. And then you can see here, it's the karma. I want to do one throw on Putin, because to be honest with you, this almost looks like the West is not going to stop until Putin has been removed from office. It honestly looks like that. So I just want to look at the future of Putin. They want him out. The West wants him out. I'll be honest, with those cards, it's looking like the West is unified. The sad part about this is, if you start getting the Saudis involved, and you have fighters going in to areas like Chechnya again, Georgia, all those areas he's tried to annex again, taking Ukraine, etc. If you have different parts of the world all coming in collectively and stopping him, it could really financially devastate Russia to the point of complete bankruptcy. This is how bad his cards look. The fact that the Ten of the fact that the Ten of Cups came as the outcome for the world united against him, the fact that we were united, Two of Wands partnership, the fact that we had the money, Empress. I think it's going to be, he went too far. That's basically what they're saying. He went too far, and I don't think he can come back from this. I don't think that he really went too far. He went crazy. You know what this is looking like? This is almost looking like they wanted what happened to the guy from the Serbian. This is looking like if this continues, this guy's going to wind up in the Hague facing war crimes. That's how bad. Putin's fall from grace does not look good. And it looks like a fall from grace. He's even shutting his own generals up. You know, he's acting a lot like Trump. Petty, angry, wanting revenge against people who he feels did him wrong. And that's his undoing. You know, being a vengeful person rather than not, you know, I was studying the Daily Stoic. The best form of revenge is no revenge at all. Just simply continue to live your life based on your principles and values, and do not give time to people who are beneath you, who you don't respect, who are abusive. They don't deserve for you to be upset. They haven't earned the credit, right? We're upset when people we love and respect are disappointed in us, but not people who are who we think that we have no respect for. But in the case of Putin, there's so much vengeance here. Like there's so much anger here. Where he's at. Remember when I went into the remote and I said, wow, maybe I've gone too far. Maybe I've gone too far. Like I was a little frightened, but I felt like but then I had this anger issue. So where he's at right now, looking at his situation, heartbroken. On some level, he must have felt, it's almost like this guy knows it's already over for him. Look what's over him. Look what's over Putin. It's, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Saddam Hussein when he just started destroying everything. That's what's so scary about this. This stubbornness. It's like this stubbornness. He feels he will be victorious. This is only the beginning. This is... You know, I was thinking, this sounds like a syphilitic delusion from some old medieval person having a syphilitic delusion or something. But he sees himself as marching into victory. He sees himself working as a great strategist, right? The Master card. Others in relationship with him, the Queen of Swords, he's really pushing people. His hope and fears, the Queen of Wands, the loyalties, right? The Queen of Wands is draped in loyalty. So his biggest concern is where others' loyalty lies. That reminds me of Stalin, who became paranoid and thought everybody was out to get him. He said he was very, very patient. He says that by the age of 73, is he 70 now? He believes that in the next 2.5 years, he's going to be able to get back the Soviet Union. He's not in his right mind. He's gone insane. Lunatic. the moon. He thinks it's going to take him it'll take me 2.5 years. So yeah, he just churns up. I think he has underestimated the response from Europe. He thinks that's what's going to happen is he's going to chew up the Ukraine and then, no, I just want the Ukraine. And then people are going to give him some sanctions and then they'll work it off and they'll get over it. They'll get over the Ukraine. And then I'm going to work on Moldova, or wherever the next chunk is he goes after. But this looks like, I want to just see now, because they're saying Biden needs to go further. Biden's not going far enough. Biden's response really quickly. Okay, Biden's response to this. Is Biden responsible? How is Biden going to respond? They're still having an emergency summit. It's just that Putin's not going to be there. It's an emergency summit with Europe. The main pressure is on Biden because he has the more economic leverage than any other country in Europe. And that's why they're screaming for Biden to do anything, because of the economic leverage. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. He doesn't look to me like he has Parkinson's. I don't know why people keep saying that. I haven't seen anything in the news on that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's look at the future of the Republican Party. I believe that there's some kind of conservative Republican get-together, and one of the keynote speakers is going to be number 45, Donald Trump. So let's see about how that's going to go. It looks like something like 25% or more of conservatives are backing Putin. So what do you think about that? What do you think about the fact that something like, I think it's actually higher, 49% of, it could be as high as 49% think it's not our problem of Republicans. I don't know. What do you think? Obviously, we're at war with this individual. Obviously, he's at war with NATO, and the Republicans support him. A percentage, not all Republicans, but a percentage of the Republicans support him. So what do we all think about that? It's a little scary, isn't it? Thank you, Red Gypsy. That was very kind of you. I appreciate your donation. Okay, let's see what's going to happen to the Republican Party. And, you remember the talking points for the GOP convention, that they were going to change their policy on Ukraine. You remember that? Oh, yeah. What's going on with the Republicans and their upcoming get together? Well, they seem to be, when the head of the State Department, Pompeo, who's the former head of the State Department, goes back to the remote that the State Department was under investigation, and that, He's praising Putin. Giuliani was praising Putin on Rachel Maddow in 2004. There's a civil war inside the Republican Party. You have one faction in exile. This can be to be shunned also. It's a shunning card, right? You're kicked out of the church. And then you have the power card. So they have to decide how. Look, you can't win an election when almost nobody is a Republican anymore, and the people who are a Republican are at war with themselves. It goes back to predictions about how the Republicans would eventually cannibalize themselves. So where we're at right now, they're fighting amongst themselves. Five of Wands. This is where the Republican Party is at right now. What's crossing them? Look at this heartbreak. They're torn into the various different pieces. Look at this, though. The people in the position of power, right? Like Mitch McConnell holds the purse strings. Look at that, shunned. They've shunned some of them. Ooh, there's an internal investigation. Goes back to the fact that we had also looked at the fact that they had used Republican resources for the coup, and that came out. A new beginning. They're looking at a new beginning in the Republican Party. They want to starve them out. There's a lot here about poverty. This is a poverty card. This is frugality and holding the coin. So part of what they're hoping to do is to starve them out. There's going to be a successful campaign to get rid of these Trumpsters. Ooh, people are actually facing criminal charges. There's something here about thief attempting to leave. Somebody's been stealing money from the Republican Party. Has this come out yet? This looks like people may have been stealing money from actually the kitty. There's a new guy taking over, King of Wands. Something about some theft being discovered. So when whoever was in control of the finances, there's some kind of an investigation here and possible charges against people who are facing theft. Does this have to do with the inauguration or something else? And trying to it's interesting. They're saying that people left the Republican Party, that Trump drove a lot of people away. They're going to try and get rid of those people, some of whom were involved in theft, and woo back people who left the Republican Party. Come back, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. So as quickly as possible, it looks like the key people in positions of power are going to try and starve them out, kick them out. There's going to be fall guys. There's also going to be people blamed for possibly financially stealing money. Something about like the wealth, the treasure trove was taken, some kind of an investigation going on, and then trying to woo back people to the Republican Party. George Bush, Junior, people were literally were not voting for Republicans. That's they lost the people that were very much part of the Republican Party. John McCain's daughter voted for Biden, right? So this looks to me like there's going to be a wooing to try and get those people back. It's interesting. Yeah, there's some theft that took place within the Republican Party. Similar cards came up when you looked at the NRA, that there was something about possible theft and missing money in the NRA. You need different opinions, right? You do need somebody representing the military. We do. And economic strength of the country. All of that's all well and good, but you don't need crazy people. Oh, shuffling on a drum. Sorry if it's too loud. Yeah, their party is definitely in trouble. Okay, Sherry Clark wants to know about Ivanka. Did y'all hear about this? That evidently she's volunteering to speak to the January 6th Commission. I think it's much ado about nothing. All she's going to do is say, I'm a nice person and I did what I could to, I'm not involved, you know. But it goes back also when we did the remote on Ivana. Remember that? And Ivana said, man, I knew no good could come to my kids getting involved with Donnie because I knew what he was. But, you know, you don't know what to do. You feel like your children should have a relationship with their father and blah, 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 blah. And at the same time, she knew, Ivanka's mother, that that being involved in the father's business could come to no good. And that's exactly what happened. Thank you, Mel Broussard, for that wonderful donation. Oh, Anonymous, the hackers have taken down RT.com, the Russian broadcasting website. Wow. Yeesh. Okay, let's see, Sherry Clark, about what's going on with Ivanka Trump. I can't imagine her dumping her dad, but at the same time, her mother's probably worried about her, telling her to distance herself. She's going to have to distance herself because, boy, she ruined her life. She can't even go back to New York. I keep seeing her going to jail. I keep seeing her in a ponytail and her hair is light brown and she's got a ponytail and no makeup and she's in a jumpsuit. Fool takes a leap of faith. And then there's something here about Page of Pentacles. So she fears jail. This is incarceration card. She feels like the feds are right over her. There's aggressive police action. This is a messenger regarding money, and then foolish. So there's something about some kind of investigation, possibly the police over her facing jail regarding some issue about money or foolish behavior, and the bottom line had to do with money. She's seriously thinking about leaving the United States. 3 of Wands. Her ship comes in, waiting overseas. She doesn't know what to do at this point. She's sitting in a... prior to this, she refused to cooperate. She's entering into a new beginning, starting this spring. Where she's at right now, she feels she will be victorious. Others around her are attempting to flee. So it's the rats jumping the ship. The hope and the fear, the frugality, holding the coin. It could be also the camera card. And then the final outcome, fighting amongst themselves. This is fearful. This is a very, I feel very afraid. Regarding the issue, heartbroken. Others in relationship with her are under serious investigation. Also, her hope and her fear that she will be given an offer. The final outcome over the conflict, fear, and an attempt to make a deal. Possibility she may try to have one more child. But she's getting older, so she's running out of time. If she doesn't leave the United States, it's very possible she will do prison time with those cards. And it has to do, People want to know about New York City Attorney A.G. Bragg and what happened regarding the investigation. Is he going to be able to drop the case? Is he going to be himself have to be answering to the Justice Department? The Attorney General wants to have a conversation with Bragg. That could happen. So I just want to see about New York City A.G. Bragg and find out what happened there, because people are concerned that people close to the case say that he felt like it was a nothing burger. So let's take a look at New York City's District Attorney A.G. Bragg. What is going on with A.G. Bragg? What should I have for dinner tonight if I order from Uber Eats? What would you order? Would you order a pizza, a healthy pizza? Like a vegetarian, with like olives and mushrooms? Would you order something else? What should I have for dinner tonight? Or should I make something myself, but it's going to take forever to make it? And I've been working all day. All right. While you all decide what I should eat, I shall look at New York City Attorney A.G. Bragg. What is going on with you? Transformation of the situation and then movement. Where they're at right now, confused. They're confused. So there's a genuine feeling that the people who were over the investigation don't know what the heck is going on. Wanting to walk away from a battle he felt he couldn't win. Why is that? Karma, because there's something here possibly about they were running out of time. It could be that if they were going to charge them with something, there may have been a statute of limitations or something, because there's something here about the time thing. So if they felt that they didn't have enough evidence to present in time, something about time, partnership, there's the evidence. People were not cooperating. They were getting the runaround from people they were trying to get to cooperate, and he felt part of what was going on was that there were time constraints. Cooperation with defendants. Somebody had walked away. There were people that had originally agreed to cooperate, and then he couldn't get an agreement. The hope and the fear that the light would come out. So something happened where there were people and informants, etc., that they thought they were going to be able to testify or to give witness. And then those people either got bribed or offered money or something happened, but they lost key witnesses. This is what's going to come out. So basically people said, yeah, I'll cooperate. I'll testify. I'll help. I'll show you all this information. And then those people somehow disappeared. Either they were bribed, they were threatened, but something happens where people that were supposed to be informants take off, and then so that he was dealing with that, and then he was dealing with time constraints. And then there is the offer. So they were saying, come on, you tell us everything. We'll, offering a healing, the final outcome. They couldn't get a look, walked out. So this almost looks like you have like Igor and all those other people that were part of questionable behavior something happened where key witnesses literally, they were supposed to cooperate and then they did not. Because you have all this, come on, give us testimony, give us evidence. Yeah, I'm going to do. And then something happens, and then he's running out of time to prosecute, and then they leave because of some kind of lack of cooperation. So, look, this is why they have trouble prosecuting the mob. They have, because the people who say, oh, I'm going to cooperate, get threatened, or they fear for their life, or they fear for their safety, or they get an incentive not to cooperate. Something happened. Something happened with key witnesses. That's what it looks like. The only way that this can go forward is if he gets more help from the Justice Department and the FBI, if there's more coordination. There's a possibility of more coordination coming in to help, but I don't think it was that Bragg was weak. I think it had to do with the fact that the case started collapsing because certain people were not cooperating, and it was making it increasingly difficult. They couldn't get cooperation from certain people. But it looks like Merrick Garland shows up, and then there's something about key evidence being handed over, and then the truth coming out. So it's possible that they still could prosecute, but I'll go ahead and I don't think that Bragg got paid off, because that would have been caught by AG Merrick Garland. This looks more like people witnesses and people and things started collapsing. That's more of what this looked like. A payoff or something like that. I don't think that Bragg would have gotten away with something like that. Not with this AG. But let's go. What was the next thing I was going to look at? Oh, now I can't remember. It was really important. Do you guys remember what it was? 2 people quit. I don't. Oh yeah. Do you want me to look and see if I don't think that's what it was, though. Let's just go ahead and see if the Trump organization charged. Let's see if there's going to be charges, or if the case is going to be dropped, because it looked like they were having a. Are they running out of time? What's the statute of limitations? Yeah, Merrick Garland. Okay, let's see if there's going to be charges against the Trump organization. Because this did not look like Bragg was. I don't think that's what happened. This looked like a case falling apart. And that happened with the mob. That's why it took so long to get Gotti. Every time somebody was going to testify, they would either get murdered or they would say, oh, I don't know nothing. Don't be a snitch, right? So the fact that the moon was in Bragg's 4th house, or no, the moon was in his 3rd house, the fact that he had, you're running out of time, he had the evidence in the past, and then informants fleeing, and then you had the feds and the Justice Department trying to coordinate so that something fell apart. That's what it looked like. Very common with the mob. Very hard to get people to testify against. They have to get protection. They have to change their names and move to a small town in Iowa. You know. Let's take a look and see if they're going to be charged. Like, why would that have happened? Isn't that weird? I guess it's not weird, considering it's really hard to get people to testify against the mob, and that looked like the mob. If you think that the Russian mob is going to come after you, would you really be so enthusiastic and gung-ho to testify? Fighting. There's something about a big offer. So there was something about, 10 of Cups. Yeah, here it is again. They're running out of time. The main evidence they have against them has to do with bank records, money. Yeah, here it is again. The justice goes after the money. Yeah, they're going to be charged, and it's going to be because of bank records and what happened with the accountants. The case is not closed. It's actually a lot of evidence. Interesting. Nope, it's not over. Bragg brought a new white-collar criminal attorney to handle the case. Oh, that's good. I don't know. This almost looked like they had to make charges by April. I don't know what's going on with how much time they have, but it looked like, because 401s is my April card, and you also had time running out. So 2 New York prosecutors resigned due to disagreements about how the case was being handled. Oh, okay. There's always a turnover. Well, it still looked like there were probably charges that were going to happen. I can't imagine, given Merrick Garland's personality, that he would let that go. Let's take a look at Merrick Garland now and see his perspective on it. This is fun. Aren't you glad you came for Hot Topics? Hot Topics. All right. Did anybody decide what I was supposed to have for dinner tonight? Should I do a pizza? Vegetarian pizza. I didn't get any food recommendations, so I guess it's going to be pizza. Pizza, Thai or vegan. See, I make Indian at home. That wouldn't be special. All right, I'll do pizza. Olives and mushrooms. It's supposed to be good for your immune system. You get a little olive oil in there. You get some mushrooms, glycoproteins. I love Thai food. I want the lycopene. Lycopene's supposed to be really good to prevent colds also. All right, let's see what's going on with... they say that vegetarian pizza is the healthiest junk food. If you're going to do junk food... and mozzarella is supposed to have a low fat, right? It tends to be leaner than the other. Yeah. So if you want to have something quick, fish and chips is fried. I don't do fried food anymore. Potato tacos, not enough protein. Oh, the grand jury is running out of time. Yeah, there was a time constraint, Pierre Walker. Cauliflower crust. Oh, that sounds good. They do have some gluten-free crust and cauliflower crust for an extra $1. That's a nice idea. All right, Merrick Garland. What's going on with the AG Merrick Garland? It's a rough night. Go with pizza. I agree. Okay, I'll do pizza. I was so busy today. I can't cook. Cheap and good. It's very slow. It's very, very slow, the process, but this is a lot of stuff going on with him. Look at this, 8 of Wands. This is quick, 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 and it's a lot going on. 8 of Wands is a card that denotes quickness, fast. It can be multiple things happening at once, and then stress. He has a stressful job. So everybody's case is important. Everybody's investigation is important. Everybody's complaint is important. The Judgment. Successful in 6 months. What is above him? Knight of Cups. Sits within evidence. Oof. They had a star witness that backed out. It changed the case. Boy, you know what I like about Merrick Garland? He really has an ethical conviction. He just keeps going. Defends his territory. Look at the Trump people in the organization. Hysterical, aggressive, violent, but he keeps defending his territory. The light is going to come out, even if they can go crazy, they can threaten people, but it's inevitably going to come out. I think a lot's going to come out in the next couple months. There was a really good question there I wanted to check. Somebody had asked. Yes, very methodical. Somebody had asked a really good question. Oh yeah, President Zelenskyy going to be safe. I think that, didn't we assure him safe passage, or some country did? I wouldn't want to go to Poland. That guy is a fascist, right? The guy in Poland. Okay, we're going to just make sure Zelenskyy is okay. I see him going northwest. What would that be, Austria? Where is Zelenskyy going? Where is Zelenskyy going? Huh, he could also go to Britain. Oh, he's leaving. He was offered safe passage, Page of Cups, Archangel Raphael, healing, and then he leaves. Where he's at right now, new beginning. 4 of Cups, he's not, he's defiant, rejects what's happening, his business. Look, this could be, it's like the Shah goes into exile. There's a possibility of exile here. 5 of Pentacles, right? Exile. Springtime issues, 4 of Pentacles. There's something about an economic crash in the Ukraine. Damn. This was insane what Putin did. Yeah, he's going to get out. He's going to the West. He's got protection. Sacred contract. He could get out sooner rather than later. Like, I don't see him staying there for very long. They're already hitting Kiev. I didn't know Zelenskyy was Jewish. that says a lot about how far the Ukraine has gone, because most Holocaust scholars will say that Hungary and the Ukraine is probably the most anti-Semitic place in all of Europe. You know, if you read God in Hell about what happened to Jewish people in the Ukraine, so that says a lot about how far they've come. Unfortunately, Hungary also is rabidly anti-Semitic. Poland has really centralized their power. No, he's going to get out. Zelenskyy will get out. Safe passage to the West. So Germany, Austria, Britain. Oh, I'm surprised Finland is not part of NATO. They really should be. Yeah, my favorite archangel is Archangel Raphael, because Archangel Raphael is like the archangel associated with doctors. So after when I was practicing medicine, there's a medium out of Australia. She paints the archangels. She does like trance work. And so I bought her Archangel Raphael, and I used to keep it in my office so that when the patients would come and get healings, Raphael was always there. Yeah. I keep saying the Ukraine. It's a bad habit. Sorry, Ray. Bad habit. Ukraine. It's a bad habit. Ooh, Chipotle. That's a good one. Yeah, I think it's a pizza night. The statute of limitations does run out in April, Ellen. That's what I saw, because there was because you had the Wheel of Fortune, TikTok, right? And then you had my April card, 401s. And then you had something collapsing in terms of evidence. Archangel Michael. Well, Archangel Michael is associated with the Page of Swords. Most readers think of Archangel Michael as the Page of Swords because he's usually shown as carrying a sword, and he fights the devil and wins. So that most will say it's a Page of Swords. And I think Raphael is Pentacles because she's the writer. She was the writer and the artist. And then that would make Uriel wands. Yeah. Gosh, this is so crazy. All right. Well, the people who are sheltering in the subways, be safe. Okay, so we're now looking at the people of Ukraine, Kiev. Are they going to be safe? The ones that are in the subway. Okay, I'm in. So basically, what the Russian military is saying is they're saying in the remote that the main thing they want to knock out is the communication towers. So they're not going after civilians. They're not interested in bombing. So if people get hurt because they're just bombing everything, but they're strategically focusing on like communication towers. They're trying to knock them out. Nuclear power plants. That's very common. Military bases. But the main thing I'm getting is communication towers being knocked out. Also seizing. They also want to seize the some of the economics, some of the banking infrastructure. But yeah, if you're a tower, if you're a tower, like a news tower, they're going to knock it out. They're not going after people. That's not their main focus right now. It's the infrastructure. They have satellite images, they're saying. I'm getting the feed. We have satellite images and key areas we know that we need to knock out. Also, some of the ports, some of the boats on ports, they need to knock out. Some of the stuff at the ports. Oh, they're saying because of fuel. I'm getting it. So they're going to knock out some of the fuel. Sorry, I got to tell you what I see. Well, if they knock out the fuel and they knock out the communication and nobody has any way of getting out because they have no access to fuel, if they shut down the ports so nobody can get out through the ports, nobody has any communication because the radios are down, the signals are down. If they take control of the banking infrastructure, if they take control of the government, then that's pretty much over from their perspective. You can see them coming in here. They felt that this was pretty easy, but when you go into this as a remote viewer, you can see Kiev, you can see certain areas, and you can see specific strike areas. I'm very focused as I go in. I'm very focused. Those of you who are from this area, you can tell me what I'm seeing, but I'm very focused as I go in from the eastern side. I'm looking to what would be the north, and I'm very focused on bombing the north. Yeah. There are key areas in the north, in northern Ukraine that I'm focusing on a lot, and northeast is being hit hard. There's something about a corridor in the west that they're not going to bother with. So that would be in the southwest area. There's a corridor that they said they're not going to touch. So I'm assuming they're saying that that's a corridor where the west, so that NATO could come in. I'm terrible with geography. If you guys want to open up a map of Kiev and pull back, if you look at the northern section and northeast section of Kiev, that's the main area they're focusing on. Yeah, so they're over here. They don't want to go over here. I just follow energy. The southwest is Odessa. Okay, so that would be down here. No, they'll take that. This, hold on. So you're going, this would be the north. This would be the south. This would be, oh, interesting. Wouldn't this be, this would be this would be east, this would be north, this would be south. They're not going to go southwest, extreme southwest, southwest of the, coming in from the east. Now I want to open it up and see what I'm looking at. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. West northwest is Poland. Yeah, they're not going there. So that must be because the US troops are there, because I see a sun and it's open and it looks like the sun is coming in. They're not focused on this area. They're focused on this whole area here. And I'm seeing a body of water. And by a body of water, they're hitting strategic targets. And they're in the first thing that they were saying is our main focus is to knock out communication. Because US troops are stationed in Poland. And NATO troops are in Poland in case he tries to go in. They want the financial first communication, they're saying. First, they're knocking out communication first. And then military targets like the nuclear, then the financial. So they're seizing the banking. So that's pretty much it. That's all they need to do. You can't get your money. You can't get any news. He's knocked out communication. You can't escape through certain ports. All along the water, whatever that water is on the northeast side, is getting knocked out. They're in the dark. They want to put them in the dark. Wow, I learned a lot about the military by being a remote viewer, because it's just not how my head works. But yeah, first thing they want to knock out is the communication towers. The last place you would want to be in one of these wars is sitting at like CNN in Atlanta with because that would be on their list of like the main things to hit. They're saying that they're going to be done with the first phase in a couple of days. It's crazy. Okay, so what is north? What is north? Oh, the Russian banks are frozen too. Wow, this is so crazy. Oh, he's got. I hope he doesn't close off the water supply systems. Well, that's what they didn't do in war-torn countries where there's drought. They control the water. That's a really good question, Tina. Let's take a look and see how Putin is doing with the oligarchs and if they support what he's doing. And then I think we're going to call it a day. I think I have a client I have to call. one more client. Oh, Moldova's not nice? Yeesh. Too bad. All right, how are the oligarchs doing with Putin right now? They think he's gone crazy, and they're arguing amongst themselves. There's a ideology versus the people that think he's crazy. They think he was foolish. I think it happened very. It's a quick, but then you have the fighting amongst them. The wealthiest amongst them are challenging Putin. You have some guy here who's the King of Pentacles challenging him. They're not happy. Whoever said that the oligarchs are not happy, they're very unhappy. Look at that. They're losing their money. It's about the money. I really think that this is the beginning of the end for Putin. I do. I think he really went too far. Russian tank convoy blown up. Jeez. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're not there yet, but this really was a mistake for Putin. You know what I think? I think he could face criminal charges. I wouldn't be surprised if he was charged in The Hague. It could end like that for him. Oh, the Russians were, platoons were surrendering. Good for them. The Ukrainian beer is supposed to be like some of the best in Europe. Get them a beer, hang out with them. They're nice people. Seriously, like Russian soldiers are supposed to be the coolest people in the world. They don't want to be there. They probably, we surrender. Break open a good Ukrainian beer. Wait it out. All right, love and light, everybody. Please stay strong. This too shall pass. The good always wins. You are safe. You are loved. Take care of yourselves. Be about your business, children. Don't be frightened. I don't see anything spooky happening to us. I think a lot of spooky things going to happen to Putin. I think that the world is done with him. I am going to get some pizza. I'm going to put some pineapples on it too. All right, love and light, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and for supporting the channel. And if you need to get in, information is below the channel. Go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. If you ordered tea from me, I shipped it out today. I know a couple of you wanted to get some herbal teas from me. The sleep tea, you can put 1 tablespoon in hot water, let it sit for about 5 minutes and drink. You can put it in a bag, put it or in a tissue and put it in your pillow to help you sleep. I prayed over it. So give it about 5 days to get to you. those people who ordered tea. All right. Love and light, everyone. Thanks again. Be well. We'll see you next time. See you Saturday. If you are a member, we'll be doing our spa day. Woohoo! Thank you.